name is Steve Christensen. I'm with Amelia's Compass. We're at our first NAMM show here with our new product. And the product is called ControllerHub 8, and it's a way to add expression controllers to your live performance. So this is the product itself. It has 8 1/4-inch tip ring sleeve connectors for attaching expression pedals and on-off foot switches and sustain switches and so forth. And then on the other side, you have 5-pin MIDI in and out and USB MIDI in and out. So the purpose of this is to allow you to hook up as many as 8 foot controllers and get them on USB, at which point they go into your laptop, your iPad, or other MIDI-enabled hardware, and you assign the controller movements to the internal parameters, which you can play in real time. You're using both your hands to play your instrument. Now you can utilize your feet to add expressive control. Keyboard players tend not to be able to use the existing all-in-one pedal boards that are widely available. They seem to need more expression pedals and fewer buttons. And the existing all-in-one pedal boards are a lot of buttons and just a few pedals. So down here you can see what we're hoping is a typical keyboardist's rig. You've got 4 expression pedals, a total of 4 sustain switches hooked up, and then 4 more just on-off switches that we map to various places. And so, for example, in this preset, the first 2 pedals are just hooked up to volume. So that's just volume. Volume on the other keyboard. And then this is transpose. So this makes a keyboard independent pedal board for you to use with. You could swap any keyboards in and out and your control setup wouldn't change. Here we've got an organ hooked up, and this engages the Leslie. And you can even sustain that. So we've got it's just a sustain switch that we've got mapped to that organ. Here we've got, this is just incrementing and decrementing your presets. So you can see that. And so this guy is hooked up to main stage's panic function. So when you get stuck note, you know, so we want to paint that one red actually. You can remap any of these controllers on a per preset basis. And the other thing is it's not just for computer-based audio. If you're a guitarist, you might have guitar stomp boxes that have MIDI jacks in them. And so over here we've got an example of that where we've got a Strymon timeline and it's animating its display down there. So you might have an entire guitarist pedal board with 3 or 4 MIDI-enabled stomp boxes. And so you could have some of these buttons going to stomp box 1 and some of these pedals going to stomp box 2. And they're all just remappable. So again, it's making the idea of foot control more modular so that each user can customize their complement of pedals and buttons. They can locate them physically where they want, and they can map them to control any parameters that they need to. Most of the time, you don't even have to change anything inside of the ControllerHub. It comes out of the box with a default configuration where the first 4 inputs are set up to send MIDI CC7, which is volume on 4 different channels, and then the next 4 inputs are CC64, which is a sustain switch to those same 4 jacks. But if you need to, for example, with the Strymon, it's already set up. If you want to change the delay time, you have to send it MIDI CC number 3. And that's not one of the ones it comes out of the box with. So we do have an editing template for MIDI Designer. So here's your 8 inputs, and each one of them has MIDI channel, CC number, maximum value. You can calibrate the pedal You can invert the pedal. You can put it on repeat mode so that if you change presets and your presets aren't savvy about asking for the pedal position again, it automatically repeats that pedal position every so often to synchronize with preset changes. And then there's a button mode switch that you engage when you're hooking up just an on-off switch. And finally, you can hit the toggle mode, so this is press once for on, press once for off. Or if you disengage toggle mode, it's just momentary, on, off, on, off. This is called MIDI Designer, and it is a third-party app for iPad. You don't need that because you can send it sysx commands. Anything that'll edit and generate sysx commands you can use to change the individual parameters. And it's kind of a set once and forget. You know, when you first get it out of the box and you're hooking up to your pedals, you'll maybe edit the parameters inside of ControllerHub 8, but it saves it to flash, so every power cycle it remembers where it's supposed to be. You can go to ameliascompass.com and they're available for purchase there. The price for the ControllerHub is $390, and the price for the button pusher is $60. And these are made in the USA. They're unbelievably rugged, yet still lightweight, so you can pack them onto your pedal board and you don't need a forklift to carry it around.